Hello from Poland. I'm Leslie.
And I'm Jason.
We retired early to pursue our love of travel, and we use our YouTube channel as a video diary of our travels. We just finished 17 nights in
Wrocław.
Poland. That's how we would pronounce it, is Wroclaw, but it is actually
Wrocław.
we moved on to Krakow, but we are going to talk about our experiences that we had in
Wrocław.
Wrocław.
and talk about what we spent, which was, I'm going to kind of run through a list of the places we went, and we'll talk about them, certain ones a little bit. They all kind of run together. The first place we visited was the Town Hall Museum. I don't have the name of it written down. Not the art museum. I don't really even know what this museum was. It had a collection of oil lamps.
It was a nice old building.
It was a nice old building.
It was one of the probably most photographed buildings.
Yeah, it's like the main photograph building in the main square of Wroclaw. But I don't know what the museum was really called. We just went, it was hot that day, and we thought it would be cooler inside.
Well, the building was kind of like an old city hall, maybe,
Yeah,
or something like that.
it was an old town hall.
Oh yeah, town hall. And yeah, it was really hot, so it was a good place to go.
Yeah.
They had a lot of kerosene lamps, apparently one of the second largest in Europe, or first largest, I don't know. The sign, I took a picture of the sign, but I don't remember. So it made me appreciate it more because I knew it was one of the larger ones.
And the invention, one lamp equaled 17 candles.
Yeah, something like that. And it changed like the face of surgeries, and well, I don't know if it changed the face of it, you could actually see what you're doing during surgeries versus candles. So it was actually kind of interesting after you read about it a little bit.
And we did pay to go into that museum.
Yes.
We also paid to go to the botanical gardens.
We didn't talk about the rest of the museum. It was,
Well, there really wasn't.
yeah, it had some interesting stuff.
It had lots of signage about the history of the building and all the different additions to it through the years.
It was an old building. Lots of interesting stuff. Nazis went in there and carved swastikas in the ceiling in that one room, but then they took them all down and they put up flowers.
Are we done with that?
Yep.
Okay. Then we went to the botanical garden, which was something else we paid to visit. It wasn't giant, but it was nice and peaceful. We did some excellent people watching for quite a long time at the end.
It was pretty hot still too, so
Yeah.
it was a shaded area.
Shaded area, and we had places to sit. Another wonderful experience, because we did have 2 days that were in the mid-90s, mid to upper 90s, like 96 or 97. We stayed in a hotel for 2 nights.
The old B&B.
It was called B&B Hotel, right in the old town.
Yeah, it's everywhere, right? We stayed there before.
And that was like heaven.
Yeah, air conditioning. They gave us a big room.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Nice view of the old town.
And then we paid a lot of money to go to the zoo, which started off a little rougher than, we got there at like 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, I think. We thought a weekday would be less crowded. That's not true. Everyone gets there early with their kids. So it was like we were in this pack of people when we first got there, but it got much better as we went on.
It was still crowded.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't go to the Africanarium.
Where you go on a little safari, right?
No. Where they had the hippos and the aquarium, but they don't call it the aquarium.
Oh, we did go in there.
We went in there, but we didn't go there first, and we didn't. By then, we were kind of like 5 hours into the visit.
Yeah, that was actually a really good aquarium.
Yeah, we should have done that first, is what I'm trying to think.
I feel like I saw plenty of it.
Okay. Then we went to the Jewish cemetery, which is called, I think, the Museum for Cemetery Art. So you do pay to enter it. It was not an old cemetery, not like old.
Pre-World War II.
Yes. And it had bullet holes from World War II.
Yeah, because the Gestapo took it over is what I read. I don't know why it would just be the Gestapo. But anyways, there was a fierce fighting within the cemetery in Festung, Breslau. Or Breslau, however you say it.
And then we went to the Soviet cemetery, which, I mean, I guess there were graves there, but it was really overgrown. The main thing was like that big plaque wall in the back.
Commemorative wall.
Yeah.
Sort of like a Vietnam Wall memorial, but before it had a lot of names and just different things about the units that fought in Breslau. Breslau.
There were a lot of graves, but there were no like individual name markers. It was just rows
I think they
of
were
like.
all on the board. All on that commemorative wall.
It definitely needed some love and attention.
Yeah, I mean things like that get kind of
Forgot.
yeah.
The other thing we went to, and I don't remember the name. They have a big fountain. Typically, it's a multimedia fountain, but I know before we came over, it was struck by lightning. So it still does like a light and water show apparently, but maybe not as elaborate
As it was.
or as great as it was. So we didn't actually make a special trip over to see the light and water show, and we didn't really see anything when we were there.
It was really hot.
It was really hot.
It was really hot, and the water fountain is out in the middle of a big open cement area. So you just kind of walk around the edges in a little bit of shade.
Yeah, it
That's
has
about
like a giant pergola the whole way around, which was shaded, so we just kind of walked around that.
And it's surrounded by parks, so
Yeah.
we did that.
Then we went to, also paid to see the Wroclaw University Museum.
I found it interesting.
I found it interesting. You like the sciencey part. I sat in a chair for those parts because I talked a lot about the people that got Nobel Prizes from that area.
And the
Or
professors at the college. And
It also had two very elaborately decorated rooms that I can't pronounce the names of. One was like a music hall, and one, I don't know what they did, awards or lectures or something.
right, both.
And then they had the mathematical clock tower, I think. So you climbed to the top and you had a nice view of the city, which was actually a decent view.
Yeah, very nice view.
We went to the Magnolia Park Mall, which really isn't a big deal. It was just a destination on the map that took us over an hour to walk to.
Hour and 5 minutes.
we did a couple laps around the mall just walking, and then we rode the tram back.
Got some good food, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Then we went to a bunch of places that in my mind kind of run together. We went to the Architecture Museum, which was in the old church.
Yeah, was that the monastery?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the church part was pretty neat, and they had some old, like stained glass type stuff, painted glass.
Ceramic furnace things.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Then we went to, this museum has like two names, the Historical Museum / Museum of Medallic Art. And they had like lots of guns.
Yeah, so that
And
was the arsenal also? Is that
I think that was
Okay.
No, the Archaeological Museum was the
the
arsenal.
arsenal.
So we went to Archaeological Museum.
I can't remember what the historical museum was.
I can't either. We went to those two on the same day, and they kind of like blurred in my mind.
Well, that one was in the house that had the garden that was by the closer to us, and maybe that was the historical museum.
Maybe. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Archaeological
We
Museum.
actually went to the archaeological first, I think. But,
Okay.
And then
The further away.
and then that other one had, if that's right, the historical museum had a lot of the stuff after the war.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was
had-
kind of like the history of the city.
Yeah, which we wish we'd started at the end because it would have been more recent history.
Yeah.
So a little bit more
It
interesting.
started in like 900.
Yeah. Which is interesting, but you get kind of, tired of standing and reading by the time you get to the end. And it was pretty crowded because it was a free day.
Yeah.
But the end was very interesting. You did a lot of sitting.
Yeah. Then we went to Park.
But we didn't. Then we went to the Archaeological Museum with all the guns, which that was pretty interesting.
Helmet collection.
And one of the largest war helmet collections.
Polish War.
Yeah, which is actually pretty neat too. But yeah, I don't know. That was pretty good. That part was good. The other side with Iron Age and things like
Bronze
that.
Age.
Yeah, Bronze Age. That was a little.
It was like little pieces of metal and
that they found locally, which is pretty cool. But you know, again, you kind of get worn out after you've seen so much.
And none of that was really in English. So if you wanted to like read the details, you had to translate everything.
Then we went to Park
Grabinski, I'm gonna say, which was south, very south, like an hour and 20-minute walk. And I just picked it on the map as somewhere to go, and it ended up having really good stuff in the park. So the first thing we didn't know was there was that
a memorial to the liquidated German cemeteries.
Yeah.
You want me to elaborate?
Sure.
I don't need to. When after World War II and the Potsdam Agreement, they changed. So Breslau became Wroclaw, or however you say it, and Breslau maybe, and so the Polish people came, and all the German people left. It may not have been by choice. I think they fled a lot of times. Anyway, so in just the turnover of that, kind of all things German were being liquidated. And so old cemeteries got liquidated. Not necessarily the bodies.
Just the tombstones.
And so a lot of that was turned into park, which is how that was. So it was a monument that had tombstones within the monument.
And then we found, also didn't know it was there, a World War I Italian soldier cemetery. It was pretty big size.
Yeah, good size. I think 1,000 some Italians are buried there, who were brought to during World War I. There wasn't a battle there, but it was part of the German Empire. So when they were captured fighting, like in the Italian Alps and those areas, they were brought to a camp there where they were imprisoned. And so when they died, they buried them there.
You remember a lot of what I taught you.
What you taught me.
And then there was this big, large monument to Polish soldiers of World War II and like a cemetery at the top. We didn't know this at the time, but it's a big hill, and it was built from rubble of after the war.
Yeah, all the broken down buildings and all that, where they piled it up, and then they made it a memorial site. And those were Polish soldiers brought from lots of different areas. Some that were in camps that were buried elsewhere, and then some that died in battles. I don't know, I have it all written down, but I can't remember everything.
And then we went to, this is kind of what I picked on the map originally, Mammoth Park. It's a kid's playground, but it's a big, giant play structure built to look like a woolly mammoth. And in the park they have lots of historical signs about woolly mammoths, I guess. Then we went to the National Museum of Wroclaw. We just did that right before we left. It started out with we went to the top floor. I don't know why you read to go to the top floor first. We did that. It had a lot of Buddhist.
I think the reason for the top floor was so you didn't have to walk up the stairs.
Oh.
3 flights.
Anyway, it's kind of an odd collection of things. But then, as we went down, it became more of an art museum and a Polish art section. And then my favorite thing in there was this portrait, and the guy's eyes looked really weird, like they were cut out or something had happened to them. And the lady came over and moved this tiny thing under the picture, and the eyeballs moved back and forth. It was so weird.
They also had those tombs. Those are pretty interesting. Tombs from a church where some high up people had been buried.
In Polish history.
Yeah, had been entombed in different churches, but so they weren't there themselves, not the bodies. I don't guess.
I don't think.
There wasn't a whole lot of information about that.
And then we went to Old Town more times than I can count. And Cathedral Island many, many times. And we did find the lamplighter on our last night. So that was interesting.
We didn't go out much at night. So
no, we're not.
So that was an interesting
We got home at like 9
experience.
o'clock that night. So that was a late night.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because people follow this guy all around the island filming him, and I would not want that job.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem very enthusiastic about it.
The other videos I'd seen in the lamplighter, it was like, kind of reminds me of like the Beefeater guys in London, like a big burly older guy, and this is like a guy in his 20s, so it's kind
he's
of
a younger dude, and you're like, just leave me alone. You don't have to be happy about it.
No.
And he didn't seem unhappy, but he did carry a large flamethrower.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, I'll put it in the thing, but it's a very long stick. He had something under his coat that held a gas canister.
Tube that ran to it.
And then some other things we experienced, not that we went to, but we were sitting in our apartment and all of these like air raid sirens start going off for a very long time. I think it ended up being like a minute. But I went out on our balcony and there were other people out looking around. So I'm like, we don't know what's happening, but it was the first of the month and we thought, well, maybe because we've been somewhere else and they test them on the first of the month. After the fact, we found out it was to honor the Warsaw Uprising. That was August 1st at 5 o'clock, and I think it was nationwide.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. And then another evening we were walking, and it's against the rules to drink in public, like on a bench, which is kind of different than a lot of places in Europe. So we saw a guy and two guys in like jean shorts and black t-shirts walked up with a badge and I think gave the guy a ticket for sitting on a bench drinking a beer in public.
Yeah, you see it quite a bit. So I guess it's illegal, but you still saw it a lot. I don't know. So I was kind of surprised it was enforced.
Yeah.
And those guys were so quick. They were so undercover.
And they were undercover.
They like zoomed up on it.
And you read it was like a $30 fine or something.
I didn't read that. I think you told me that, but I don't know.
I thought you told me.
Maybe I did say, I don't know.
The other thing we watched a lot, one night we watched in the main square, there must be some type of like permit system to be able to like sell your balloons or dress up in your costume or all the different things people do in the square to make money. Because these guys were selling these things that shoot in the air that light up, like slingshot type things and come back down. And they would put them out in a circle and they're looking the whole time, and there's like a network of them, like 3 or 4 in a row. But there are 3, maybe like security guard. They weren't police officers, but they walk around and they ask for some type of paper because we watched the guy get his folder out and they all 3 looked at.
Yeah, it was
like a 10-minute process.
Very extensive examination of the guy's papers to make sure he was legal.
But the other guys would watch for these people coming and say, meander around the square. Yeah. They're not walking quickly. So they can see them coming. So they grab all their stuff, walk out of the square, and maybe 15 minutes later, it's like every 20 minutes. They're there for like 20 minutes, they leave for 20 minutes. They come back for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was just interesting to watch because they lay out, like, did you say that?
Like in a circle around their stuff.
And so they would have to pick all those up and then scramble to run out of the square and they'd show up again. And but we also saw a kid. There was a kid and his mom, and the kid was playing the horn.
Yeah, we had seen him on the bridge to Cathedral Island like a couple days before.
So I mean, he could play well, but apparently, if you don't have the right papers, you're not supposed to do it. So the police, or those same people, I guess, or was that police?
No, it was the same people.
Yeah, same people came over. And
the mom was filming him, and he's playing, and they all walk up and
eventually, and he just kept playing as she was being talked to.
She walked up to him, and she was like, "No."
Yeah. So they had to pack up their stuff and leave. So you can't just willy-nilly show up on the square.
You can. You just have to be ready to run.
Ruined a lot of our ideas.
A retirement.
Yeah.
We watched the partial solar eclipse. I can't remember what that place was called, but it's like this elevated walkway.
It's part of the old fortress in town.
Yeah.
And it was used by the Germans in World War II. In Festung, Breslau.
In hindsight, if we had known about that Polish memorial south of town, that would have been the ultimate place to watch because the sun was setting behind buildings before we could see the whole thing. We saw most of it.
Saw most of it. But it got up to 85%, and that was right when it was sitting like below the buildings.
Because it was at like 8, after 8 o'clock here. And we saw really interesting things. We saw people wearing these gloves to hold their phone. I don't know what that was supposed to do.
White gloves.
We saw a guy holding...
Well, this was like somehow they were viewing it.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the glasses that we had. So they had white gloves and doing something with their phone. So I'm not sure what that was.
A guy that had a CD.
Yeah, CD news reflecting. There weren't a lot of glasses.
There weren't.
And we didn't really see them being sold.
We brought ours with us. People were layering up sunglasses, 2 and 3 pairs.
3 pairs of sunglasses. Those seemed kind of dangerous.
We did see some people doing like the pinhole on paper thing. The girls next to us had some type of like card, and then some people had like a big, almost looked like X-ray film. Probably what's in the glasses.
Yeah,
but like a big strip.
Yeah. I think that's what the people next to us, the girls, had.
Yeah, but it was
probably
like a
strip
credit card.
So they were mainly just taking pictures, I think.
Yeah, they weren't looking. So that was kind of interesting to see.
See how the rest of the world watches the eclipse.
And then one of my favorite areas that we walked through on the way to that park the other day, and I just saw it on a map, and I was like, put this in as like a walk-by thing. So it was a community garden area, which we've seen in like, I feel like Germany, we've seen community gardens, but this was like very elaborate with paved walkways or bricked walkways, and then there were sections, and it kind of had like an address, like a name of something, and then like, I guess the plot numbers. So you could go down that alley, and some were unlocked, but I didn't feel comfortable going down there. But they were fairly big size lots. Some, I guess they were variable sizes. Very elaborately planted either with flowers or tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. But then people had sheds. One even looked like a very small 2-story house. But they locked this at night, so it's not like people live there.
Oh, you don't know, maybe?
Seating areas, like they have like set up under a tree, a table and chairs, and it was just really...
I guess, if you don't have a backyard and you're in an apartment complex, then you can have a backyard.
Yeah, I loved it.
Just not at your house.
And there were, hundreds of them, I feel like.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big area. But that was a really interesting walk. The other thing I didn't have that you wanted me to mention is the Milan /
Manchester United
game.
That was exciting. AC Milan.
We did not go to it.
Nah, I didn't know about it, but then I knew about it once we got there, but then tickets were pretty expensive. And then kind of was good because it was really hot. And I watched it on TV though, it was free on Polish TV.
But they did have like maybe like a viewing area that was set up with tables and a big screen that you must have been able to buy tickets to, but it didn't look very exciting.
That area.
Yeah.
I mean, the game turned out okay.
The game was great.
4-2. AC Milan. But Pulisic didn't play. He's injured.
So that was like the bulk of the things we saw, which I feel like we pretty much covered the whole city. I mean, not the outskirts, but we covered quite a few of the outskirts. Like when we were up in that tower, we're like, yeah, we've been over there, we've seen that church, we've been over here. So very compact city. Again, we love the gardens, the parks, the shady walkways, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was a good walking city.
Very good walking.
Mainly what we do is walk, so it was a good walking city.
That's a good segue. We'll talk about, I've been tracking our steps. So we walked,
101.58 miles.
By my phone, which means by your phone, we probably walked 130. But we walked 259,496 steps while in Wroclaw. That's a lot.
So that means you gotta have good nutrition.
Segue to our food that we ate.
Healthy nutrients.
We went out and ate in a restaurant one time on my birthday. We were going to go to this pierogi place. I don't know why. Was it crowded? Ended up being crowded?
Yeah, it was people out the door, which
Yeah.
was, of course, the first time we'd ever seen people out the door.
That place. So we then decided to go to this place called Big Fish, which was fish and chips, and it was really, really good. So that was right in the old town, but like hidden in the building in the center, kind of in like the walkways inside of there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no one there.
Yeah, it was empty and it was very good.
We ordered Indian food. We ordered Thai food.
And we went and picked up Thai food also.
And Indian food.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we ordered on. We couldn't have it delivered because of the weird address system of our building. The address puts you in the front, but you'd have to be in the back, and we didn't really know how to how to do that. So we just ordered from places we could walk to and pick it up. So Indian, Thai, we went in and ordered. We ordered pizza twice, and the place was like immediately below our apartment in the building, but we just ordered and picked it up. May's Cookies, which is an American-owned cookie shop right down the street. When we went to the mall, it has a name, it begins with a Z, but it's like French bread Polish pizza. It was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
And then we've been to McDonald's.
We talked about that.
And then we ate grocery store pierogies multiple times. And they're actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
They're fresh.
Yeah.
I don't know how fresh they are.
Well, you can buy frozen ones.
You
But
can.
these are like in the refrigerated section. We just could heat them up. And then we ate a lot. We ate pasta twice. Lots of ramen. We bought some like frozen vegetables. So you mainly ate the frozen vegetables in with your ramen. Cheese and cracker. You've been eating oatmeal every morning, and I eat yogurt and frozen fruit.
Otherwise, basically the same stuff we eat at home.
Yeah, except we eat fast food way more here than we ever eat at home. So that wraps up what we did. And now we'll talk about our expenses. I'm not even going to call it a budget because we have blown the budget. So we'll just talk about what we spent. In a typical 28-day month, when we're traveling, we on average normally spend between $2,600 to $2,900. In 17 days in Wroclaw, we spent $2,146. which is insane to me. Our Airbnb was $13.69 or something.
That says $14.51.
It does.
Yeah.
But we stayed in a hotel for 2 nights. The first night we included breakfast, and it was like $122. But I used credit card points to erase that because I felt bad. And then the second night we stayed there. We did not include breakfast, and it was $94. So we spent $1,451, so that's the Airbnb plus the $94. We try to stick to $55 a night, 55 to 60. We averaged 85.
Yeah, but also segue, we don't think we planned early enough.
We didn't plan early enough, and it's summer travel season.
Yeah. And when we were looking, a lot of things were already gone.
Yeah.
So.
And there is a certain level of comfort that we like. Not that we had it much.
Yeah, it was still pretty expensive, and other than location, which maybe that's what you paid for at that place, was location.
So anyway, we overpaid for accommodations, according to what we normally spend. Transport, we spent $47.65. That was the train ticket to get to Wroclaw, which was I think $30-some, and then we rode the tram 3 times. Then groceries, we spent $217.55. Restaurants, we spent $289.21. Admissions, we spent $100.62. So we paid to go into 4 places. The most expensive was the zoo, so that was $50 for the both of us. And I think the botanical garden was $16. And then we spent $8 to go to the Jewish cemetery and $15 to go to the University Museum. And then household, we spent $20.55. Our apartment did not have any like kitchen tea towels, or all of the coffee mugs were glass. So the first day we were there, we went to Pepco and we bought 2 coffee mugs and 3 tea towels for $5.
It wasn't just like that though. We went to lots of different places.
We went to Homa.
Yeah.
We went to TK Maxx, looking for the cheapest ones. And I knew Pepco was going to be the
cheapest
winner.
And biggest.
Yeah.
Sometimes cup sizes are different than what we're used to.
We brought everything with us. And again, they don't really have a 1 tea towel. The coffee mugs here are okay. And then we bought, I think, shampoo, lotion, that kind of other stuff.
Soap,
yeah. Laundry soap, that kind of stuff. So overall, like I said, we spent $2,127 in Wroclaw for 17 days. I will say, to make myself feel better, if you take out the over expense on lodging, that $30 a day, if you take that out, our other expenses are on track for our normal, what we spend. So it's not like we overspent on food or entertainment. It's mainly just
it all washes out.
So overall, now that we're in Krakow, which we've only been here 1 day, and I was done yesterday, so we've only had a quick tour the city. I think Wroclaw is probably going to end up being my favorite place. I loved it there.
Yeah, it wasn't that crowded.
Yeah.
And so we kind of go in reverse, getting more crowded.
Yeah. And I kind of felt like I knew I'd probably like Wroclaw the best. So that's kind of hard in your mind. Like walking around the main square here last night, it was just a lot
It
of
was Sunday night.
people.
A lot of people, and it was a really hot day, so it was getting towards evening, so it was going to be more crowded. Oh, it might be better today, especially in the rain. That probably is the time to go out.
Yeah, We did have to buy umbrellas this morning to get us through. But I loved Wroclaw. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's actually probably one of my favorite places I've been, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice.
I mean, just based on what we like. Outdoor space, good sidewalks.
Lots of walking.
Not too crowded.
Food situation was pretty good. Like, I mean, as far as the grocery store, it was okay. I wish the grocery store was a little bit, maybe if we were there longer, we would eventually venture out more and find something further out or something.
Yeah. But overall, highly recommended.
Yep.
So, thanks for listening.
Bye.